You know I love to get y'all riled up,
Woo,
right?
woo. Hey, hey. On to the next topic, y'all. How do y'all
I'm
feel
breathe
about
right
y'all
now.
kids gaining y'all assets? Should y'all kids have to work for y'all assets, or are y'all just okay with giving your kids or whoever's going to take your assets without them working for it? You know what I'm saying? Like Shaq, he makes his kids work for their assets. He says you have to get about 2 or 3 degrees before you get any part of his inheritance, right? So, let's start with I Sparkle this time. How do you feel about that? When you want to give your kids something that you're gonna leave behind, are you gonna make them work for it?
Honestly, I feel like that there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. Why? Because he's pushing them to you know what I'm saying, do what they need to do to further their education, make sure that they're prepared in life. So when he do leave what he leaving behind, yes, they're gonna inherit that, but they can also stand on their own too. However that comes. So I don't think that's a bad thing for them to earn it. Show him that you're gonna be responsible, because that's all he want to see. He don't want to see that when you gain his assets that you just gonna blow them. So honestly, I feel like it's a good thing. It's another parenting moment. Like for him, I commend him for that, because you're teaching your kids another way. Earn it. Yes, you're not gonna be entitled. You're still gonna learn how to earn what you get. Teach them that. You always should instill that in your kids. So no, I
Agree
agree.
100%.
Go ahead, Bright Star.
Agree 100%. I don't need to add nothing to it because that's the way it should be. You can't give them stuff on a silver platter. Some of them take it and just throw it away.
No.
And then you got to set, like, say if you died when they're like only 18 and 19. No. Sit it where they'll get it when they're 25 or 30. You know? They'll do something with it then. Don't just give it to them. No. I agree. Move on.
Leah Awards.
Yes, yes.
Leah, did you freeze?
Even with my kids, like from the time, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Okay,
We hear
so
you
like
good.
even
Yes.
when my kids were like babies, I believe in their independence and I believe in teaching them character and morals. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, just because I have it, I'm not gonna just here you go, hand it over. No, you need to show that you're gonna be able to be responsible with this. You know what I'm saying? That you're gonna take care of it as I would. You know, like as if it was a precious as it is a precious commodity because I'm leaving behind my legacy for you and I don't need you to be ungrateful brats about it. You know what I'm saying? I need you to be adult minded about it and not try to, piss it away, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because kids will be entitled if you're just giving them things and not making them earn it or showing them why this is how you should go about getting it instead of just having it plopped in your lap. Because if everything was plopped in our laps,
Yeah.
we wouldn't work for anything. Anything. So yeah, I totally agree.
That
No.
is true. OG
Yeah.
Smoke.
Well, I like that. It's good answers, and it's a lot. I want to say the same thing, but you know me, I gotta twist the game up. I gotta shake the game up tonight. But I feel like yeah, children should work for it. But if I also feel like that they have that love and dedication to what's a part of the family, what's the family legacy, because sometimes our children can have the education, they can have the right morals for it, but they don't have the love for the legacy. I've seen that with family restaurants, family businesses.
Yeah.
And sometimes they get the control of the businesses and really don't. They it doesn't go right. It kind of still goes down the drain because the love isn't there. The money, the funds, of course, was given to them, but I want one of my kids to actually love one part of the legacy. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? They gotta love something to continue to keep that ritual going, to pass that thing down from generation to generation, because what happens is it's not gonna be no kind of no culture, no structure. You just focus on getting the money and not building it and passing it down the right way to your children, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we keep things going. That's how we build a community, and that's how we keep each other strong. I mean, that's how I feel, at least. So yeah, they should work for it, but sometimes yeah, the work can be there, but they gotta have that love for it. And I've seen, things where sometimes the work was always there, but they deserted it still because they heart wasn't in it. They love, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, yeah, they can work for it, but their heart got to be in it. Their heart for the legacy business, because what happens is they end up spending
Yeah,
money and don't
and
care about the money, don't cherish it. They're not giving a damn about it. So it's like okay,
That's right.
and it's not really not feeling it. You should
yeah,
feel
in those
spiritually
instances, you want
connected
to
to
go
that
ahead and
money
just,
or whatever your
sell it to a
family's leaving
stranger
behind.
then.
Yeah, like you should feel every
Yeah.
time you spend $1, you should feel like you talking to your ancestors. Like, damn, like. But that's a good thing, you being very frugal with the things your ancestors left behind for you, your people. So I mean, you want to keep that and pass that on. That's the only way to kind of stretch that with longevity. That's the way I feel. So at least, so that's my input on it.
Okay, so Testa, are you making them
Yeah.
babies work for it or no?
Well, I already do that. I feel like there is a lot of um, lessons that they need later on in life that they need as a child. Independence is everything these days. The more years go by, they're getting older at a younger age. They're knowing more at a younger age. They're more mature at a younger age. Why not teach them independence? Because if they don't have it by the time they turn 18, 19 years old, it's almost like, hey, I'm going to have to find myself. And then they're about 30, 40 years old before they find themselves. And if you give them that amount of money, like start just giving them money with no work behind it, up until that age, they really don't ever pick up. They really never learn. They have, they got a hard life because you did not give them the guidance to earn that income. You did not give them the guidance and the tools to go out there in the world to use their hands or their mind, whatever. And it's just like OG said, whatever fits for them. It has to fit for them. It's almost like you put kids in sports and they don't want to play. You are
Right.
like, that's the worst thing you can
Yeah.
do.
Right.
So true.
So talk
Yes.
to your kids, give them options as a young age, to actually utilize those skills, because that's what they're going to be picking up, a lot of skills to build and earn that income. It's not necessarily do chores around the house. You please, like, chores is something you can get paid for, but pay them for using their mind.
Yeah.
Pay them for using their
Yes.
hands, building something. Give them a project to do.
Yes.
Thank you, because they're not going to do it on their own these days. They got too much electronics. Like, do it.
No.
It's an incentive.
Yes.
It's not like you're giving your child a reward for being bad or not doing nothing. You're giving them an incentive for
No.
actually using that brain. Please do so.
Look
Very
Yeah.
here.
good.
I'm conflicted because I want my child to have everything, and then I do want them to work. I do want her to know what it's like to go to work, because it is a good feeling when you go to work and work for what you buy. It really is. But at the same time, I don't know that. But at the
Yeah,
same
and it
time, I
hurts, and it
kind of want to
hurts, and
give
it
her the
hurts.
things that she doesn't have to struggle and go through a lot of things. But I feel like I would leave it in increments. Like, if you do this, then I get the house I left you. Or
Mm-hmm.
if you do this, then you get this increment of money and stuff. Because
Yeah.
I don't want it to like be a long thing where she has to wait, and it's like she's never gonna get it. Because that can also, just say F it. I'm not gonna get it. I just choose to do otherwise. So I'm just kind of conflicted. Like, I don't know what.
Term
Well,
No,
life insurance.
go into it
can
though.
can I piggyback on that? Because truly, that is a mouthful. That is the truest thing you can do with your child is not prolong activities that they do. Because once you do that, some kids can't
Yeah.
handle that. Some kids truly are not meant to sit still,
That's
have
me.
brain like they're not meant for that. You got to kind of reward them with who they are, and each child is different that you got. Like,
Yeah.
and if they can get a house at 25, what have they done and worked at to get that house at 25? Please don't tell them 50 and they, by then,
Exactly.
like, they
Like,
crackheads, they mentally damaged because
But
you popped all
most
kinds of
importantly,
trash.
we forgetting the most important thing though.
Just don't
What's
turn them
that?
loose at 18, 19, 20 years old. Just give them a little
yeah.
bit of time, Just a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of time to grow into it. They ain't got to be
Well,
40,
you know,
but just a little
But
But the
time.
you
thing
can't.
Because
we
when they
still
get their
forgetting the
hands
most
on it,
important
they're
thing.
going to appreciate it. They're going to keep it. They're going to want it because they had to wait for it. But if they just,
mhm.
it's,
Yeah.
whew, everybody won't do it, but some of them will.
Some of them will.
Some people, this is what we forgetting for the night though. Some churn and some people, some families actually turn it down, don't want it because the family legacy, it puts them in a position where it makes them worse or off, or they
Yeah.
might
Mhm.
feel. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might
Yeah.
come in the age, come into their own, come in their own success, come in their own longevity, and feel like, hey, that just won't work for me. You know what I'm saying? They might not want it. We got to come to the
They can
realization
feel it.
sometimes our kids might not want that, depending on what type of
Mhm.
family legacy is passed on and left behind. You know, we got to understand that they might not just want that. They might want a way out for themselves. They might want a different type of way out for themselves to feel like, hey, I'm successful. I got this. I got that going. I don't really need this going. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep that in fact
Yeah.
too. We got
Yeah,
to keep
have a
that. You know,
discussion.
but
You
I
know,
think
you can't
so.
just force it on them. You gotta
That's
have a
why the
discussion.
majority make people work for it. But like I said, if they don't love it, man, if it ain't in them to carry that on, to carry that same, to put that same paprika, that soul to it, to make you feel like it, how they was doing it, it ain't gonna be the same way. You know what I'm saying? And we see that all the time. We see a lot of stuff that's family
That's
owned,
why you got to
passed
stop
down.
grooming them while they're young.
Mm-hmm.
Stop
Mhm.
grooming them
It's
while they're
just going
young.
down the
Don't let them get old and then try to put something in them that's not gonna stick.
Nope. Them prime years
drain.
are everything.
So they
The
think they know it
one
all by
thing
then.
Shaq did
They
do, I
know it
think
all
I
by
followed
then.
him quite a bit. He did have his kids read the 101 Business for Dummies book to start
Mm.
them off with how to, prepare themselves for business. And it actually said it worked for all of them. He did it with his
And
boys. I believe he said
Good.
for the
Yeah,
primary
because
part,
he
because
made
he
them work harder.
requires his boys to at least go to college, like she said, 3 times. His girls are not so much required, but he does have requirements of them. I don't remember exactly what it was. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, he started him
mm,
off with that 101 Business for Dummies. So hopefully, y'all go find that video of Shaq and see what all he said about it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Shaq does,
I
like I
was
said,
going
but if they don't want it, they don't want it. I'm pretty sure he
You
has
know,
all
yeah,
the
some people
resources in the
actually are
world.
okay being workers. Some people are
Yeah.
actually okay being workers, never been a manager, a business owner. And that's part of how the world revolves. That's how we spin in the world. The world would not be a revolving world if we didn't have workers. So it's okay to want to be a worker, but you got to find something that you still love and that's gonna pay you enough to live in this god
That
doggone
is
economy we
true.
stand in. Like, truth
A
be
lot of
told.
okay,
workers do love what they
for
do. I
real.
have met people, I say this all the time. I met people that love working at McDonald's. I loved when I worked at Ross. Like, it really was a good job. It just wasn't something I wanted to do, for the rest of
Right.
my life. But they really are good jobs. You settled into
And
them
that's
and you love
the
doing it every
job.
day.
You gotta like it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're gonna be miserable. If you're not rich, you gotta enjoy where you work at because you gotta do it the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you get tired of switching
Mhm.
jobs. Trust
Mhm.
me. You get to a point in your life where you get tired of switching jobs. So you have to find one.
And another
That
thing
part.
before we go, we have to realize what retirement is. Nobody really wants to sit there and dwell on retirement because it's something you have to build up, take time for, and all that good stuff, right? But hear me when I say, if you're trying to leave your kids some assets and you building yourself up for retirement, truly, it's gonna take a couple of $100,000s to get there. Truth be told. So why not prepare your child? If you're gonna prepare them for something, prepare them for retirement. Prepare them for that
Mm.
600,000, 2 million, depending on when they really gonna need it, because that still ain't enough money. Get them halfway there because we don't start saving for retirement at a young age, and
No.
then we're double and triple trying to save at an older age. Give them
Hmm.
that.
That's
Mhm.
true.
I just want to thank everybody for coming to the show
Hey,
tonight. It was a great conversation. You
okay, I'm
guys are
not done.
awesome.
I got something to say.
And what you got to say at this point, ma'am? Because you definitely been quiet.
Okay, I was raising my hand, but everybody was talking. I always raise my hand.
Girl,
Okay,
everybody looking at
so
y'all
I'm
and learn to
just
jump
gonna
in. Look
piggyback.
at this. Look at this. Learn. This what I was just gonna say. OG and Testa, I'm finna start using them in a different way because I can't control them. So I have but you want to raise your hand. You gotta learn how to jump in. Jump in, hopscotch, jump. What it is when you got double dutch? Jump
You
in.
know
Come
my
on,
voice
girl.
when
What
I
you
want
Double
want?
somebody
that.
listening to me. I can't talk over everybody. Anyway, I'm gonna tell my
Look
people and I'm
here.
gonna be quiet.
Look here.
Okay.
I learn
So
how to
I got a
jump in.
question right quick though. Shaq has a transgender child, correct?
I don't know. I don't think that it does. Shaq have a transgender child? Was that Dwayne
Uh,
Wade? Who was
I
that
know
with the
uh,
Dwayne
trans?
Wade do, but it's also
I
another
know
person
Dwayne
Oh,
Wade
also.
that's
do.
Magic
Dwayne
Johnson
Wade
got
and their
a
that
son.
was
Yeah,
child.
Magic
Magic
Johnson.
Johnson.
And
I think
Magic.
he did have a young boy that kind of was gay, but I think you're talking about Magic Johnson's
Okay,
son.
Magic
Yeah,
Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
That's Magic.
Yeah,
Okay, all
I'm
right.
pretty sure Shaq don't have no
Okay,
gay kids
so
unless
yeah.
it's a girl.
We know of.
Not no
Okay,
transgender kids, at least.
okay.
They okay being gay, but I don't think none of them transgender.
But yeah, at the end of the day, if your kids are not into the business, you're gonna have to pass it on to a stranger. That's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? They not everybody kid ain't gonna want the business. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you have to check that option of what stranger do I want to have my legacy.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Some people do end up giving their legacies to strangers. That is true. Good answer, Leah Awards. Good answer. Family, good answer.
That wasn't.
Hercules, Hercules, Hercules.
I really appreciate y'all, but we loved it. I love that y'all come to keep everybody next to the black on every Sunday. OG Smoke, Tester, I Sparkle Lee Awards, and the great I Sparkle. I really thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're watching. And we're gonna keep trying to keep putting stuff out there. We are your new home for black entertainment, black education. We trying to stimulate your minds and make you laugh every once in a while, okay? So we'll be back next week, and hey, stay next to the black.
You.
Stay next to the black.